This is not going to be a long and detailed review. If you want a better review, if you want a bigger review, then perhaps AEW should put on a better show. Because I have no time to waste talking about this shit. So it's just going to be basically a quick recap of what happened. This show was not good. This show was not worthy of £20 or however much it cost. I did not watch it live. I live streamed it and then my stream died and I ended up watching it when it was uploaded like an hour later. So, loads of shit. I wasn't paying for this. If you paid for it, then you've been robbed. Maybe try and contact the AEW and get your money back. But anyway, we kicked off with the pre-show first. We've got legit Layla Hirsch versus Chris Statlander. The only thing legit about Layla Hirsch is that she is legit 4 foot tall. She is legit a midget, and she defeated Chris Statlander. Did not think this would happen, but yeah, she won either way with a moonsault off the top rope after hitting her opponent with some sort of wrench, so who cares? Hook defeated QT Marshall. Predictable, boring, who cares? And House of Black defeated Death Triangle and Eric Redbeard. Eric Redbeard just made his debut on Rampage, and now he has lost his opening match. So yeah, what a start for Eric Redbeard. Truth be told, right guys, see as Eric Redbeard, he is crap in the ring. He is no good. He is a big guy that fans would be complaining about McMahon pushing, but because he was friends with Brody Lee and Brody Lee's now dead, they're all pretending that they love Eric Redbeard. The truth is, these indie, vanilla, loving wrestling fans don't like Eric Redbeard. It's just pretending, it's pretense that they like this Eric Redbeard guy when in reality they don't. He doesn't fit their mould. Like I said, big guy, not great in the ring. There's nothing about him. He can't do the flips and dives. They don't like this guy, but because he was friends with Brody Lee, they're going to pretend that they love him. So, lame. Who gives a shit? Eric Redbeard lost. Probably be released in 6 days' time. Who knows? Anyway, we move on to the main show. Eddie Kingston, big surprise, defeated Chris Jericho. The strap, unfortunately, came down for Eddie Kingston short into this match. The singlet was down and he was just showing off his flabby belly. There's no physique to this guy. Massive gut. Looks horrible in the ring. His movement is awful. It looks like he's never been in a match before. I don't think there's an athletic bone in the guy's body. And he's got a very big body, but I don't think you'd find any athletic bones in it. He beats Jericho with a dodgy submission. Jericho actually looks pretty good. He's lost a lot of weight, but you can tell in the last couple of years, Jericho has slowed down in the ring massively. The best of Jericho is well behind him, and we knew that. I mean, we've known now for like well over a decade. You know, time doesn't lie. When you get older, you're not going to be as good. But I still think Jericho, you know, in his last WWE run, he still looked pretty good. When he first signed for AEW, you still felt like he could hang with the best, whereas now, I don't really feel that with Jericho. So we'll see what happens. Personally, if I was him, I'd go back to WWE for one more run, but if he wants to stay in this sinking ship and go down with Titanic, that's entirely up to him. Up next, tag team titles on the line. Jurassic Express defeated Red Dragon and the Young Bucks. Nothing to say about this match. Fucking hate the Young Bucks, hate Red Dragon, so by default, I'm kind of glad Jurassic Express won, but it was just flips and dives and more flips and dives and more flips and dives. So yeah, Jurassic Express win, but overall did not care about the match. Up next, face of the Revolution ladder match for the AEW TNT title. Warlord picked up the win. There was one moment in the match where Wardlow, Powerhouse Hobbs, and Keith Lee were all standing in the ring looking at each other, and like they're making it out that these are three, like, you know, physical specimens of men, and it's like Powerhouse Hobbs and Wardlow are big, physical, strong guys, muscular guys, and then you've just got Keith Lee, who's a big fat bastard and looks nothing like the other two. I refuse to put Keith Lee in the same category as these two. These two actually look like they train, they work out, they work hard, they improve their bodies, whereas Keith Lee looks like he fucking sits home every night eating fucking Oreos while watching, I don't know, our Ring of Honor, probably watching that shit. I don't know what he watches on TV, but he certainly eats a lot of junk. Probably watches junk as well, but he certainly eats junk, so I'm not giving Keith Lee credit. I mean, giving Keith Lee credit would be like giving Big Daddy Fee credit. Oh, look, Big Daddy Fee's as strong as Mark Henry. I mean, Mark Henry's like world's strongest man. Big Daddy Fee's a fat bastard. Wardlow and Powerhouse Hobbs have great physical bodies, and Keith Lee's just a big fat mess. That's what it is. Wardlow wins. Power bombs Starks onto the ladder at the end and grabs the big looks like a Cheerio ring, and he gets a shot at the TV title. Imagine going through a ladder match just to get a shot at the TV title. Terrible booking, terrible idea, just nonsense. Up next, Jade Cargill takes on Ty Conti for the TBS Championship, and Jade Cargill wins. So Jade Cargill now, I believe, at 26-0, 27-0, something like that. I was expecting her to win. She won. Not surprised. Don't really care. Moving on. CM Punk versus MJF dog collar match. I personally do not like dog collar matches. I never have actually seen a dog collar match that I thought was great. I felt the same about this one. I think the psychology of wrestling just goes out the window when there's a dog collar match, because you're constantly like carrying this chain about you, and you're worrying about whether you can pull off certain moves or not because the chain's there. It just doesn't really allow matches to flow freely, in my opinion. Like I said, I mean, this might be one of the better dog collar matches I've seen, but I'm just not a massive fan of dog collar matches. Don't like them. I would personally never book one or use one, especially when this is probably the end of the feud between CM Punk and MJF. So I don't know, we'll see if it is. MJF towards both men bust it open, especially CM Punk. Wardlow comes down to give MJF the ring, checks his pocket, it's not there. MJF turns around, gets hit by Punk. Punk looks at Wardlow. Wardlow checks his other pocket, and oh, the ring's there. He takes the ring out, gives it to Punk. Wardlow officially turning on MJF. Then Punk turns around, hits MJF with the ring, and beats him. So there you go. Beat him with the ring, not even beat him with his own move. Punk, like, technically cheats, even though it's no anything goes. But should a face not really be above that? Who knows? But Punk wins. That's MJF 1. That's Punk 1. It's 1-1. Will they have a rubber match, or will this feud just be over? Surely, if they're going to have a rubber match, they'll probably just have it on Dynamite. I can't see them spreading this feud out for another couple of months till the next pay-per-view. But we'll see. Up next, Britt Baker versus Thunder Rosa for the AEW's Women's Championship. Britt Baker retains with a dodgy looking stomp after Thunder Rosa was beating up Rebel and Hater on the outside. She got back in the ring. Britt Baker caught her off guard, hit her with a stomp, picked up the win, retains the belt. I mean, it is what it is. I personally picked Thunder Rosa to win this match. But now we're going to get another fucking, at least another couple of months of this boring bastard Britt Baker. So, yeah, Britt Baker, DMD, who gives a shit? Up next, Jon Moxley versus Bryan Danielson. Normal match, a match that I didn't want to see, a match that the feud and rivalry, the build-up's just been pretty much, well, here, we used to fight in Ring of Honor, so let's fight again. No real reason why these two are fighting. The match itself wasn't great. Both men bleeding, busted up, just like the CM Punk MJF match. And I feel like, I just don't think you should have this. I mean, 2 matches ago, you'd Punk and MJF bleeding, and then 2 matches later, you have both these guys bleeding. I mean, surely the blood's supposed to mean something. Why didn't Moxley and Danielson just put on it? If they're that good, why didn't they just put on like a technical classic? I mean, Benoit could have put on a technical classic with Guerrero without having to blade. So, I mean, why don't these 2 guys just do that? But no, they're to add blood because they're not as good in the ring as they want you to believe they are. Anyway, Moxley defeated Bryan. He kind of rolled him up after Bryan had a submission in. The whole gimmick is, oh, Moxley out-wrestled Bryan, who cares? And then William Regal came out after these 2 guys continued to fight after the match. And William Regal made them shake each other's hands. William Regal looking a bit old now, unfortunately. Why? I don't know. Yeah, so fuck it, guys. William Regal's in AEW, and I, for one, do not give a shit. Then we moved on. Darby Allin, Sammy Guevara, and Sting in a 6-man tornado tag match defeated Andrade, Matt Hardy, and Aisa Cassidy. Why was this the second last match? I do not know. And then speaking of why was this the second last match, why is this even the main event? Why is Adam Page the champion? Adam Page defeated Adam Cole to retain the AEW World Championship in a match that I did not give one shit about. I mean, looking at the card, I mean, you could probably say this is what, in terms of importance, in terms of like who's in the match, you could make a case that at best this is like the 5th best match on the card in terms of like how high it should be up. Yet the title's involved in this match and it's a main event. It just doesn't make any sense to me, man. Adam Page is not champion material. Adam Cole is not champion material. How can these guys be champion when you've got the likes of, I don't even like them, but Moxley and Daniel Bryan should surely be higher up the card than these two. CM Punk and MJF, Chris Jericho, Sting for fuck's sake. Why not push Sting? Christian Cage. But no, they're going with Hangman Page and Adam Cole. It makes no sense to me. But Adam Page wins. That means we get another couple of months of Adam Page. Surely he's going to lose the belt soon. I'm going to assume that his next opponent will probably be MJF. And I think MJF will be the new AEW World Champion whenever he gets that title shot, guys. But that is it for AEW Revolution. Did not want to waste a lot of time on it. I've wasted more than 10 minutes, which is about 9 minutes more than I wanted to spend. But there you go, that is it. Not a great show. Match of the night for me was probably CM Punk versus MJF, even though I do not like dog collar matches. But at least it was probably the best feud going into this. And you know what, CM Punk is a good performer, MJF's a good performer, and they did do well here. Interesting turn at the end as well by Wardlow, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, apart from that, guys, this card didn't impress me whatsoever. I'm going to give it a 2 out of 10. 2 out of 10, guys. Fuck, that's it. I would have gave the dog collar match a 6, but everything else dragged it down, so it's getting a 2 out of 10. Till next time. Peace.